Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. The recent state of play that Sony had was not the best. There were some interesting things that they showed off here and there, but overall, I just didn't really come out of this state of play really excited about any of these games. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's games in here that I'm excited to play eventually, but in terms of showing us cool new games that we've never heard of or like mind-blowing wow factors in here, this state of play didn't really have that. And I think state of plays in general just aren't as exciting as something like a Nintendo Direct, which that's a whole nother topic in itself. Let's go ahead and dive into this state of play and pick out some of the highlights that were shown off here. But before we do that, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a good old thumbs up. And also consider subscribing to the channel because we're getting close to 500. And that's going to be a pretty big milestone for me. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into some of these highlights. I don't know. I don't even know how to start this. I guess from the beginning where we talk about the VR games. Now, I've seen a lot of people online excited about PlayStation VR 2. And while I'm excited for them to have PSVR 2, I'm just not really that interested in VR as a whole. Not that I don't get it or anything like that. Like, I enjoy from the little VR experiences that I've had, but nothing has truly wowed me or moved me into actually purchasing a VR headset, especially one of the expensive ones. Well, actually, Half-Life Alyx is actually really cool looking, but that's beside the point. I will say that PSVR 2 is pretty interesting. I mean, I like the way it looks. The controllers look really nice and comfortable. And the 5 games that they showed off here, they actually look pretty neat. Again, nothing that's gonna turn me over to, actually purchasing a PlayStation VR 2. But these games look really fun to play, not gonna lie. The first one that stood out was the Foglands. Going around in first person and shooting all these guys. I mean, it just looks like plain old simple fun. But the game that really caught my attention was Before Your Eyes. This seems like a very emotional adventure, and I kinda like it for that premise alone. Okay, that's about as much VR talk as I can possibly do. Let's go ahead and move on to other games. Chia looks pretty interesting. I've seen this game floating around from time to time in different directs or state of plays. I don't know exactly the format that I've seen this game in, but I feel like I've been seeing this game for years now. Regardless, this game looks absolutely beautiful. I just don't think it's a game that's for me personally. I don't know, I could be wrong. I do like the fact that this glider does remind me of the leaf from Wind Waker, so that in itself gets some points. Up next, we have a weird game called Humanity. Now, normally I wouldn't talk about this game, but honestly, just how weird this trailer was and just how the game looks, I kinda like it. Like, I'm not gonna play it, I don't like it that much, but just of how weird it is. It's like a weird existential game where you're leading this crowd of humans. It's kind of like Pikmin as well, at least like, with all these different people following you. It's just very bizarre. It's also nice that Darshan the Giant also makes an appearance. Up next, we have a very strange collection that came seemingly out of nowhere. Naruto x Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. I did not expect them to do this. It seems to be a collection of all the Ultimate Ninja Storm games. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. In fact, that's the only Naruto Ninja Storm game that I've played. But to have a whole collection of them in 2023, I don't know, it seems a bit odd, doesn't it? Not only that, but it seems like they're streamlining the game and the story in it, which honestly, I kind of love. They're even adding new characters. I don't know if they're just going to be adding these 2 characters or not, or if there's going to be more that's going to be revealed. I don't know, but it seems like it's just going to be these 2 characters, which, I mean, cool, but I don't know. This is just a strange one, but I do love this franchise, and I'm happy to see it in any shape or form. Up next, we have Street Fighter 6. Every time I see this game, it just looks better and better. These character designs are so cool, man. And we got 3 new characters here. Well, I mean, most of them are returning, but new as in new to this game. First up, we have Zangief, which, I mean, he's never been my favorite character, but he's a classic, and he looks really cool here. I love the things that he says. After him, we get Lily, which at first I wasn't really too sure about, just the way, like, her fighting style was. But honestly, the more and more I look at her footage and her gameplay, I don't know, man. I'm kind of digging this. And she's a little goofy and stuff. I kind of dig this character. It is odd that she's using weapons. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Street Fighter. I played 4 and 5, but, you know, I didn't really get too into those games. So to see weapons in Street Fighter is a bit weird, but honestly, I'm here for it. This character looks cool. But not as cool as Cammy. I mean, come on, look at her. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but Cammy's new design looks really cool. I actually prefer this design over her original design, which that comment alone might get me some trouble, but I don't care, man. She just looks really cool in this game. I like her haircut, and her moves are just so flashy. She's definitely going to be a character that I'm going to be trying out and possibly maining. Who knows? But either way, Street Fighter 6 just keeps getting better and better. And I still want to play this game either in a beta or something, man. I just want to play this game. Next up, we have Resident Evil 4 Remake. Now, to be clear, I'm not a Resident Evil guy. I'm not really into that horror genre or even horror action games. But I'm not going to lie. Resident Evil 2 Remake had me intrigued about this series. And so I have actually played Resident Evil 2, but I hopped off of it because I think I got caught up with other things, and again, horror games are just not my jam. But that said, Resident Evil 4 looks really good. And it looks like there's more emphasis on action rather than the horror elements. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably going to be still those moments in this game, but it looks like it's going to be kind of, you know, trying to balance out the action and the horror. And this to me just looks more action, and honestly, that has me more intrigued in Resident Evil 4 Remake than Resident Evil 2. I don't know, it just seems so fun. You get all these actions like kicking and parrying with your knife. I like the added moveset to Leon rather than in Resident Evil 2, or at least seemingly. So I don't think this is going to be a day one pickup for me, but this could definitely be a play this game on a sale or play it later down the line kind of game, because I'm still intrigued about this. And of course, Resident Evil 4, the original, is a legendary classic game. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to play this eventually just because of how well known and beloved this game is. But yeah, I gotta admit, as someone who's not a fan of these games, I am very interested to see how this turns out. And last, and kind of least, which is very unfortunate to say, but Rocksteady's Suicide Squad just doesn't look that fun to me. I mean, to be fair, the movement, you know, like going around and basically flying, that looks cool. That looks really fun. But the way the gameplay is set up, I don't know. Just something about it. It feels very looter shooter, which, I mean, that seems like what they're going for, and that's cool and all, but that's just not the kind of game that I'm really interested in. That and each character kind of plays very similar to one another, at least for what they showed off. Like, they all have the same guns, and they basically all fly around. I mean, in different ways, different animations, but they still have that same kind of moveset. And out of all of them, I think Harley Quinn actually has my favorite way of getting around. She like uses this grapple hook thing to like hook onto a drone and like swing around. That just looks so fun, man. Every game should have some kind of grapple hook or hook shot or something to that effect. But yeah, man, this game is just not that interesting looking to me. I mean, graphically, it looks great. Don't get me wrong. The story also, I'm very intrigued by it because the way Flash and Wonder Woman were talking in the trailer, that kind of gave me chills. Like, just like, oh, you have to kill me, or you have to kill us. Like, you have to kill us in order to stop us. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, I really like that. But yeah, the actual gameplay, and I could be wrong. I just wish the characters seemed like they played more differently, you know, had some exclusive abilities or weapons with them. And who knows, maybe they do, but at least in this showcase, it just doesn't seem that way. So yeah, for me personally, the state of play didn't really end on a high note. And the state of play as a whole just kind of fell flat for me. There's nothing really to get out of this one except for the Street Fighter characters, at least for me personally. Street Fighter 6 was my highlight, and you know what? That's okay, because we got some new characters out of the state of play. But let me know your thoughts down below. Am I alone in thinking that this was a disappointment, or are you feeling the same way? Or did you really enjoy the state of play? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. God bless.